Okay, 2.5. We did this one in class, so I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I did in class, just so you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm going to let 4 to the t be equal to x, and I'm going to make a substitution. So now as t goes to 0, x will go to what? Well, if t goes to 0, 4 to the 0 is 1, x will approach 1. So making this substitution, this would change to, instead of t, that gets a little messy here, t going to 0, x will go to 1. And this would be x squared, because this is 4 to the t to the 2, and when you have power to power you multiply them and you get 2t. So this is just x squared minus 1 over x minus 1, and the numerator factors to x plus 1 times x minus 1, and the denominator is x minus 1. As x approaches 1, we can't put in 1 because that would be 0 in the denominator, but these cancel. So that means this was something that had a hole in it, and so it has a limit. It'll approach something from either side of the hole, and that will be, I put 1 in there and I get 2. That's different than the way I did it in class, but same idea, same result. And 21, we have a square root, so we multiply by the conjugate. And the conjugate here would be the square root of 2 plus h plus 2 over the square root of 2 plus h plus 2. So we get the limit as h approaches 0. Square root of 2 plus h times the square root of 2 plus h is 2 plus h. The outsides and the insides will be equal and opposite, so they're going to cancel. And then we're going to get minus 4 over h times square root of 2 plus h plus 2. Now the issue we have here is, and I did a bunch that I shouldn't have done, is if I can't put 0 in here, the denominator would go to 0. But if I put 0 in here, I get the square root of 2 minus 2. And the square root of 2 minus 2 is not going to 0. And so this is not indeterminate. And so there's no limit here. This goes to a number that's not 0, and something over 0 goes to infinity. So an infinity is not a limit, so there's no limit on this one. So instead of blindly multiplying by the conjugate, I should have checked to see if it was indeterminate first.